Welcome one, welcome all to Pit Road Productions, and those of you watching on Swellio Almeida's channel, welcome too. We're here for the Almeida Racing League Season 6, and we're here at Aragon for this particular round of this season's championship, an incredible circuit which should be quite a challenge in these spec racer Fords. Plenty of overtaking opportunities, a lot of big slipstreaming down the back straight and front straights. We've got our 3-race format going off tonight, so we really hope that you're with us here for the full show. You're in for some great action with some incredible drivers, all students of the Almeida Racing Academy. My name is Reese Gardner, Daniel Zippy Salmon alongside me in the commentary box, and tell you what, Zippy, it's been a while since I've done a broadcast at Aragon. I'm looking forward to seeing how these drivers tackle it.
Yeah, absolutely, and certainly it's good to be here. A new venue for me. Personally, never quite made it over to Aragon, but indeed, it's going to be a bit of a test, not just for me, but for these drivers as well. Certainly, it's been popular in terms of, you know, the drivers been having a lot of fun on it, putting a lot of laps, and we're going to have to see who indeed will emerge victorious. But speaking of Aragon, let's take a look at indeed where we've been and where we're going.
For sure. We started off the season back last year, in fact, at Watkins Glen. First race of the new year at Barber Motorsport Park. The first endurance round of the season at Phoenix. Circuit Gilles Villeneuve last week for round 4. We're here at Aragon for round 5, and then Oschersleben playing host to round 6. The second endurance round of the season taking place at Catalunya for round 7 at the start of February. Then Chicago, Alton Park, Imola, and Lebanon to round off the season. A wide variety of circuits that all have different characteristics and all test the driver's mettle in different ways. The racing tonight will take place over 2 15-minute heats. The second heat race will have the top 8 inverted for this particular round, and then the race 2 results set the grid for the 20-minute feature. There's no fast repairs, and it's a fixed setup, so it's the driver versus whatever equipment they have been given, and they will need to keep it clean, but I think that's going to be a somewhat easier thing to do than at some of the tracks we race at this season. Aragon is a truly modern venue, opened in 2009, I believe, designed by Hermann Tilke, who is responsible for the design of a lot of the tracks on the current Formula 1 schedule. But this track mostly plays host to motorcycle racing. It is a very popular track on the MotoGP and World Superbike schedules. It is a circuit that has some pretty open corners, but a few really tight ones, some good overtaking opportunities, flat curbs, which you can use all of, but you need to take care of those red sausage curbs at some of the apexes.
I gotta admit, I do love it when a track has almost like a hazard built into it, but certainly, let's take a look here. Obviously, this being a long-standing league, ladies and gentlemen, we have some championship standings for you, starting with the overall Almeida Academy.
Indeed, Charles Krasic is leading the overall championship here with Darren Sharples and Brian Jabelski rounding out your top 3. Mason Kuhn is the top driver from here in Split 1, currently 4th place in the standings. Ian Kwan, Adrian Levy, Alexander Eger, Adrian Trevino, Ian Betts, and Benjamin Pritchard rounding out the top 10 of those standings. Quite a big separation there. Nick Kuhn, I think, is, Mason Kuhn is quite lonely there in the overall standings from Split 1, but in Split 1 and themselves, Rupesh Pineni is behind Mason Kuhn by about 52 points by my quick maths. Adrian Hopp, Ian Joyner, the reigning champion from last season, and Zoltan Zomator rounding out the top 5 in the Premier class. But Zippy, that's not the only class we got going today.
Indeed, we do have the club class as well, with Felipe Pauls at the top of the standings, with Kyra Wens closely behind, with Quickbaker Zippy Math 19 points behind in second. Tyler Harker, one of the newer drivers here to the academy, we get a bit of coaching from Connor Bell as well, and it's fair to say it's been paying off. Ladies and gentlemen, he's in 3rd place with an Almeida Racing Academy veteran at this point. Valdas Mantavicius in 4th, with Kemal Kasim rounding out your top 5. I've got to say, it's been an absolutely fantastic season of competition so far, and we're almost at the halfway point.
That we are. 11 rounds for this season, and this is the 5th of them. So by the midpoint of the broadcast next week, we will officially be halfway through the season. So qualifying is on at the moment. Drivers get 15 minutes to set as many laps as they can in an open session, and we have 7 drivers so far that have set times, Adrian Hopp being the fastest of them on a 2-minute 16.9, but the fastest times in practice were quite a level above that. Rupesh Pineni was actually the quickest driver in practice, the number 19 hailing from India, setting a 2:15.5, so that's the benchmark. That's the kind of pace we're expecting. Potentially the slipstream is going to play a part in some of those times.
Absolutely, and certainly you got to think about qualifying very strategically, but in just about a minute's time, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have a quick break here and take a little bit of a message here from Swelio Almeida himself. Take a quick look, and indeed, but I got to say, Reese, just having a quick look here at Aragon, I got to say, it's a beautifully scenic track. I'm liking the elevation change I'm seeing.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why Aragon is such a popular track among the more modern, newer venues. It does follow the terrain and has some very nice sequences, particularly turns 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, turns 8 and 9 from what I'm counting on the track map. Sort of semi-modeled off the corkscrew at Laguna Seca, a diving double hairpin sort of complex. It'll be very interesting to see how the drivers take that on lap 1, but for the moment, here's a word from the Almeida Racing Academy.
Now he's here teaching all his secrets to all these drivers. This is Almeida Racing Academy,
where every champion has a starting line.
The sim racer turned real world superstar, Swelio Almeida.
It's Connor Bell racing in his own backyard for the very first time in the NASCAR Canada Series.
The workshops helped out so much. Something about battling with somebody faster than you, it just pushes you that little bit further, and I was able to just keep developing my skill.
I can kind of commit more with the exit there. That was good. If you do take sim racing seriously, it does impact your racing technique for the rest of your life.
I know how the car is going to perform around these corners because the model I have in the sim. Just the benefit of sim racing when you go into real life, I don't think people quite realize it yet.
You have infinite track time is the biggest factor. You are able to try so many things, and the physics that are simulated in the sim nowadays, especially iRacing, are so close to real life.
Creating champions.
Swelio Almeida is a master at his craft. He's outclassed a Le Mans driver, a European Le Mans Series racer.
These guys are among the top 0.02% in the world.
Designed to create champions.
First NASCAR Canada start. First NASCAR victory for Connor Bell.
Connor Bell standing on the podium here today.
This is the Almeida Racing Academy 3.0.
Wait a race, buddy. Wait a race.
Well, when we do a broadcast here in the Almeida Academy, we do like to take a tour around a lap of the track we're racing at. Adrian Hopp, the driver that we're focused on here, hopefully he'll commit to this one and give us a nice ride around Motorland Aragon. The lap really begins there at the exit of the hairpin. You get a good exit out of there, you will have a nice time down the front straight, and you'll notice those little turtles, those domes at the apexes of some of these corners. They will really mess up your suspension if you run over them the wrong way, so you have to be careful of them. Over the curb, as long as there's 2 wheels on the curb, you're good around here. There's another one of those apex turtles. A nice big curb on the exit of turn 1, and flat out through turn 2 as the pit exit rejoins the racetrack. Turn 3 is basically flat out, but then you need to be very careful for turn 4. Try and pick your line. You can't actually see this corner here, turn 5, from where you're at in turn 4, so need to take good care there and do a lot of practice around this lap. Out of the next corner we come, and down to what we think will be one of the good overtaking opportunities around the lap. Hopp running a little bit wide there, but then we come down to turn 8 and 9, which is what I was talking about before the break, Zippy. This is a lovely diving complex. It's easy to lose the rear end through here, but if you nail the exit and get your track limits right on the exit there, you'll have a very nice time for the rest of the lap.
Yeah, definitely absolutely beautiful circuit, and indeed looks like we've got a nice bit of timing as well. Looks like the sun's either just going up or just going down. Certainly Reese will be able to check it on that very quickly for me, but I've got to say, this track looks like it's quite wide. I'm having a little bit of a wonder here. How many spec racer Fords are we going to see going side by side? 2 without a doubt, but are we going to see 3, potentially even 4 spec Fords, all fighting for the same piece of real estate on this beautiful racetrack?
Yeah, it does narrow up a bit through this section, a little diversion off the back straight, but then here we are once again on that back stretch. You can pick up a little bit of slipstream along this section, and the highest speed point on the track leads into the slowest corner. Got to pick your braking point. Round about 150 to 100 meters before the corner is when you dive on the brakes, right about here. And Adrian Hopp slows all the way down to 48 kilometers per hour for the apex of that hairpin. There's really not much room to go side by side through there. If someone puts a move on you in the hairpin, then you're going to absolutely have to give up that position. So flat out through those final 2 kinks. Not much to say about those, but they could play a factor if side-by-side battles happen out of the hairpin. That is a lap of Motorland Aragon.
Well, definitely one of the longer venues on the circuit, indeed, for the Spec Racer Ford. Definitely a track that would cater very well to something like Formula 1. I mean, it's got the real estate, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, it does. But let's try and take a little bit of time here to feature some of the drivers who actually decided to go here on camera, ladies and gentlemen. Starting off with the one and only Mr. Cairo Enns.
Yeah, we've featured Cairo quite a bit on these broadcasts. We talked to him quite a few times. He's one of those drivers that you've really gotten a chance to see develop over his time in the academy. Made appearances on a couple of the other series that we broadcast here on Pit Road Productions as well. He's making good use of his time at the moment. Currently sits P4. He's having a very good time of it at the moment.
Yeah, definitely a good run, and as always, we got his dad, Jake Enns, cheering on from the chat. Without a doubt, Pit Road Productions' #1 fan, ladies and gentlemen. But indeed, we have a few more drivers for you guys to take a peek at, and it just goes to show that, you know, I feel like such an arse saying this, but like Kevin Adrian and both Rich Meesters, definitely not the most spry of chickens, you could say that, but just goes to show, you know, you can teach an old dog new tricks. Kevin Adrian, and I'll say this time and time again, in the rain, a lethal force to be reckoned with, but don't get me wrong, right now he's currently in P17 overall. I would honestly expect to see a little bit more pace from Kevin. Well, you can see the fine gentleman himself there having a little bit of a solo run. No one else really to keep him company at this point, ladies and gentlemen. But right now, you can see the concentration in his face there as he looks to try and clip the apex.
Yeah, indeed. I really hope that we do get a rain race at some point so that we can actually see what you're talking about with Kevin Adrian's rain talent there. He's certainly no stranger to success in this series. He is racing quite nicely in the club class, has taken a couple of club wins on his way through the last season and a bit as well. So I'm interested to see how he does here at Aragon.
Oh, indeed, as I say that, I guess Rich Meester's feeling a little bit camera shy on this occasion as we go and head over to one of the more senior gentlemen there, as he is one of the drivers who actually races in VR as well, ladies and gentlemen. You can see there absolutely fantastic stuff as he is very much kitted out for the occasion.
Yeah, absolutely, he is. Haven't taken the opportunity to see Rich Meesters on screen before, but it'll be good to see how he does here. He's absolutely going to be the man to watch for some pretty sick battles. He's always been involved in some fighting whenever we've gone to him on screen. Just 20 seconds remaining in qualifying, and we'll be getting ready to move on through to the race session. Looking forward to this one, Zippy. It's going to be a fun one.
Indeed it is. As it currently, right now, Ian Joyner has taken the lead in qualifying. And saying that, Cairo Enns currently in P4 overall and leading the club class for qualifying. But Tyler Harker able to sneak in 5th. But I say that, ladies and gentlemen, that is indeed the end of qualifying. Let's get ready for a race.
Let's get ready indeed. And starting from pole position will be reigning champion Ian Joyner. Mason Kuhn alongside him, the championship leader of the Split 1 field. Adrian Hopp and Cairo Enza, your second row. Tyler Harker and Rupesh Pineni will be your third row there, with Zoltan Zomator and Barrett Brummett in the top 8. Bas Van Lee and Tuka Valkyasuo rounding out the top 10.
As we have a look there in P11, we're going to have Michael Hooper with Carlos Pacania in P12. Looking back a little bit further, Jeffrey Westland, who we do actually hear races with another driver we've had here on Pit Road Productions. More about that a bit later. He's there in 13th with Rich Meesters alongside in 14th. Looking at 15th, we've got Valdas Pansavicius with 16th being taken by the one and only Jeffrey Atkins. Back in 17th, Philip Masson. He's there alongside one of the seasoned gentlemen of the league, Kevin Adrian, with Dominic Sayu in 19th, Carlton Howard in 20th.
Starting in 21st, our resident coach, Connor Bell. Going to have Andrew Calabrese and Steve Saunders behind him. They did not set times in qualifying, and I don't see Saunders taking to the grid, but Calabrese has. So we will have 22 starters at the moment for this race. And getting on for the short formation lap here. This is just coming onto the back straight. We won't have very long to wait before they get those 4-cylinder engines revving as high as they possibly can. And I'm really interested to see how the run through turn 1 goes. You know, I have done races here before, but only in faster classes. This is a bit of a new territory for me here with the Spec Racer Fords at Motorland Aragon. But as you mentioned in qualifying, Zippy, it is a very wide track, so there should be plenty of room for the drivers to get their little bit of real estate out on track.
Yeah, it's going to be an absolute belter of a race. And indeed, I'm looking forward to seeing the Spec Racer Fords run at what to me is a new venue as well. But look at the parking lot, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody has come out in force to see the Almeida Academy. And don't get me wrong, if you're looking at this thinking this looks like a lot of fun, and you know what, I could do with getting a little bit faster, you need to join the Academy. Ladies and gentlemen, if memory serves me rightly, they are currently doing a deal where it's just $25 a month. Now, that is a lot of potential teaching opportunity there. You get access to the content, the pit parties, you get access to the league. You know, that is so much for $25 a month. And indeed, I'm lucky to say that I'm a member. Don't get me wrong. I've not managed to get into it. I'm too busy doing the broadcast, but I've seen the results, ladies and gentlemen. Rich Meesters, Cairo Ends, you know, Kevin Adrian was already quick, but he got quicker despite that. It's absolutely incredible to see the talent here in the Academy.
Well, it's time for the green flag. Ian Joyner still weaving all the way towards the green flag, and we are away already. Drivers fanning out to try and find their bit of real estate on the track. A big dive into turn 1 from Mason Kuhn. He wants to take that lead off Ian Joyner, but it's not going to happen. The reigning champion leads the way out of turn 1, and it looks like everybody's managed to get through turn 1 cleanly. Fantastic to see. But Kuhn is under pressure from Adrian Hopp and Cairo Enz on board with Cairo, as just trying to get back onto the racetrack there was the German in the number 51. Contact to the rear of Adrian Hopp in the braking zone, and trying around the outside is Rupesh Pineni, the driver who top practice. We got a car around.
That's Tyler Harker. Racy has just definitely had an unfortunate incident there. Something happened with Kevin Adrian as well. He is right at the back of the grid, serving a little bit of damage on that left front, but absolute pandemonium here. But despite the melee, Ian Joyner has managed to pull away 8/10 of a second in the lead. Ladies and gentlemen, if he can break that draft, this could be a keen opportunity. Connor Bell, by some miraculous occasion, has managed to make it up 13 spots. We're not even at the end of lap 1.
That's crazy. Up to P8, and they're only really halfway around the lap at the moment. That's crazy from Connor Bell. But I think he got at least one freebie from Kevin Adrian, who his incident, I've just gone back to check, actually happened on the formation lap.
Well, here's a replay here from Connor Bell. Green flag goes, and he absolutely puts the hammer down, ladies and gentlemen. Foot to the floor. Let's give it some more. And completely using all of the track there as they go 3 wide, 4 wide in places through that turn 1. Ladies and gentlemen, this is why this man is an Academy coach. Look at the absolute sheer drive and determination. With the results, ladies and gentlemen, able to go and make his way through the field. Already up to P8 indeed.
Yeah, fantastic job. And yeah, Kevin Adrian, unfortunately, there was a bit of a concertina on the formation lap, and that's the reason why he got his damage. This is what happened to Harker, by the way. Getting his nose up the inside there. I understand why he went for the opportunity on Cairo Ends, but ultimately taking himself out as a result. I think he got a bit unstable over that sausage curb. Far from ideal for Tyler, but it's the end of lap 1. And, well, 15 minutes over a lap that's over 2 minutes long. We're looking at about 8 laps or so for this race. So not much time for Ian Joyner to have to defend from the hard-charging Rupesh Pineni.
Yeah, Rupesh Pineni, definitely one of the more aggressive drivers in the grid, but right now it looks like Barrett Blumett is going at it here with Adrian Hopp. Don't get me wrong, Barrett Blumett, since we've seen him arrive here in the academy, he's been a potent driver, and understandably so. The guy is rocking just short of 4,500 I rating, ladies and gentlemen, but saying that, Rupesh Pineni, 2,620. It just goes to show that I rating is not a be-all and end-all. Another good example as well, Carlton Howard, ladies and gentlemen, he's up 7 spots, and currently with 1,668 I rating, in P13 overall and 4th in class. Fantastic drive today from Carlton Howard.
Yeah, it's looking very good for him, but we have to keep in mind it's still quite early in the race. So there's plenty of opportunities for that to go wrong. Whether or not Carlton will be able to hold on to it remains to be seen.
All right, now we go here on board with Tyler Harker. You can see Rich Meester's just a little bit ahead. Jeffrey Atkins applying a little bit of pressure from behind. Can he make a recovery? He's certainly down 11 positions. We saw why, ladies and gentlemen, but is he going to be able to do anything else with it? Meanwhile, Valdez Mansavicius, and indeed, I believe that is Michael Hooper, going side by side here through the left-hander.
This is the diversion off the back straight, and Hooper has managed to get the move done nicely, but Valdez might be coming back at him here. Look at that dazzle scheme that he's got, and hello, we have another guy in the midst of all this, Jeffrey Westland, who's in P12 at the moment. Westland gaining 1 spot from where he started, not able to take too much advantage, but he sets up the corners nicely and he could have an opportunity. Meanwhile, behind them, Bas van der Lee in the red car, making the move on Carlton Howard for 13th.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, these guys are indeed fine. It looks like we got Tyler Harker making a move on Rich Meester's just behind as well. Meester's there appears to be carrying a little bit of damage. Indeed, he does to the right front, and indeed the clamshell of that Spec Racer Ford. The Cool Camel appears to have been in a couple of battles there. That's a spin from behind. Who was that now?
Adkins. It was Jeffrey Adkins, I believe. Oh, that's at the hairpin. Calabrese has picked up a mechanical black flag somewhere as well. We'll see what happened to Adkins here on the replay. Coming down into the corner. Did he get hit from behind? No, it appears not. Oh, he just went into the corner a bit too hot and the rear end let go.
Indeed, definitely not the result he was looking for. Let's find out exactly what happened to Andrew Calabrese as well.
So this is coming into turn 1. Cars get on the brakes ahead of him. He gets a bit unstable over the curb, locks up, and continues straight on.
Bonk.
Right, well, we know how he feels about that mistake.
Well, definitely it's something that I can understand, but right now we're going to have a man who's going to be under pressure because, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to remember Mike Sargent on this particular occasion. At one point, the Academy did offer bonus points for every lap you managed to hold off an Academy coach, and Mike Sargent, without a doubt, put on one of the best defensive games we've seen here. And right now, you can see here Connor Bell with a little bit of scarring on the right front corner, but indeed, he's managed to make it pay off for him, ladies and gentlemen. He's up 14 spots, all the way up to P7 overall, and now Barrett Blumett will be tasked with the challenge of keeping him behind.
Flat out through this right-hander as they make their way to the top of the hill. Is there an opportunity here for Connor Bell to find his way through? Not quite. This is quite an open chicane that they go through on the way onto the back stretch, and it's often wise to stay behind here because there's a clear overtaking opportunity at the hairpin. You'll notice as well that Rupesh Pineni has moved into the lead versus Ian Joyner, and he did that by doing exactly what Connor Bell is doing right now, picking up the slipstream and moving past on the way into the hairpin. He's ahead by the time they get to the braking zone. I wonder if there's going to be a battle here between them. It was briefly 3 wide for the lead. Mason Kuhn finding his way to second place. Bit of contact with Rupesh Pineni, and Ian Joyner has fallen to 4th behind Cairo Ends.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot happening in one corner there, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, this battle is going to continue. Look at this guy. Everybody is fighting. This battle for P1 goes all the way back to P8, ladies and gentlemen. Zoltan Zomator just about able to hold on to the back of this pack.
Yeah, this is looking like a very intense race at the moment. All of our top 8 are pretty much together. They'll be covered by a single frame. Now Pineni is going to try and get it back here on Mason Kuhn, but unfortunately, stuck on the outside through turn 3. Not ideal. And Cairo Enns will now see if he can find a way through. This is going to be difficult to pull off, though. It appears that the wider line Pineni's taking means he can carry a bit more speed.
Absolutely fantastic stuff here, and I got a feeling that this could get very, very interesting, ladies and gentlemen. I did not expect to see 3 wide for the lead at this point in the race. Certainly a little bit later on. It's a 15-minute race, and they are just over halfway through, ladies and gentlemen. But look at that absolutely fantastic lead pack here. Pineni going to try everything he can to get his way to the front. Cairo Enzo, he's in a prime opportunity here. His next nearest competition, ladies and gentlemen, is Baldus Spansavicius, and he's back behind him by about 4 seconds. All Enns needs to do at this point is stay in this pack, keep the car clean, and this could be an absolutely fantastic opportunity to score some points.
Yeah, Felipe Pulls, the club class leader, is not here today. And with Cairo Enns having such a big points advantage over everyone else in club, that could be a bumper points day here for the number 117. Just needs to stay calm and stay sharp in the midst of a very intense lead pack. Mason Kuhn running a little bit deep out of the chicane there. That's going to give the advantage to Pineni and everyone behind him.
Absolutely fantastic stuff so far, ladies and gentlemen. You see Rupesh Pineni pulling out of the draft. He's going to try and make a move here. And indeed, he does make the move on Mason Kuhn. Maybe a little bit of contact there. And it looks like Cairo Enns is going to try and follow him through. Ladies and gentlemen, this is exactly what happened on the last lap. We've got 3 wide. This could end in chaos. And you can see there, Pineni absolutely squeezing Kuhn to the inside. And despite that, Cairo Enns wants to go up the middle and split the deuce, ladies and gentlemen. He's fighting for the lead. High risk, but will it be the reward he's looking for?
Great move by Pineni as well to cut back underneath the both of them there, and that has sent Mason Kuhn back to 5th place. Connor Bell's now up into 4th and challenging. This is a great battle for the lead. I've been waiting for this kind of battle all season, not to sneeze at any of the other racing that we've gotten this season. It's been spectacular all the way through, but I think this just carries something extra.
Oh, it's absolutely fantastic. And what I can see behind as well, the German driver, Zoltan Zomator, he needs to work together with Barrett Blummer. Those 2 guys need to get involved in this battle. As you can see here, more action. 2 wide again. I thought we were going to see 3 wide. And look at that. Mason Kuhn looking to try and accelerate and find his way forward. Ian Joyner trying to make a move there on Connor Bell as well. Bell gets the better of him. And look at the slipstream, ladies and gentlemen. Connor Bell, he started at the back of the grid. He's now in 3rd as he takes the inside ahead of the Premier class leader, Mason Kuhn.
He's making it look easy, isn't he, Connor Bell? Using the track geometry to his advantage there. Nice tight line between the 2 right-handers. And now he picks up the throttle nicely behind Rupesh Pineni. Cairo Enns leading a race overall on pace. It hasn't happened too many times before. Let's see if he can hold on to it.
Yeah, definitely he's going to be under pressure right now. You can see the guy. He is absolutely sweating bullets, ladies and gentlemen. It's fair to say, if you'd like to adopt a kitten, I have a feeling he's going to have a few up for adoption very shortly. As you can see here, behind him, one of the more aggressive drivers in the league so far. Don't get me wrong, he's clean. Rupesh Pineni applying pressure, and you see the battle scars on the front of that Spec Racer Ford. You don't get that from turbulence, ladies and gentlemen. You get that from contact. And right now, Cairo Enns is going to have to hold on with every ounce of concentration, skill, talent, and indeed a little bit of luck if he wants to win this race.
Looks like Connor Bell is going to try and go for it here at the hairpin. Bump drafting between Rupesh Pineni and Cairo Enns. They're trying to help each other out in the face of the coach going for the move. But now Pineni switches sides and tries to get up the inside of Enns at the hairpin. Cairo's going to try and hold on to it around the outside, but that's almost impossible to do at that corner. He still remains in 3rd, and Mason Kuhn still right with him. Ian Joyner leading the gap for 5th on back, with Hop, Zomator, and Brummett. 2 laps to go here in race 1. And it looks like Joyner is not quite getting the exits out of the corners that he needs. Across the line for the leaders, meanwhile, and Cairo Enns having to look up the inside of Connor Bell there, but unsuccessful in getting past. And Rupesh Pineni's gone back past him. My goodness, that is a big hit there for Barrett Brummett.
Yeah, that's definitely not what he had on mind there. I'm not quite sure exactly what happened. We'll take a look in just a second here. But right now, these guys are absolutely duking it out. Connor Bell now, he is no stranger to pressure. Ladies and gentlemen, on his NASCAR Canada debut, he did get a penalty. And despite that, he still won the race. And this is exactly the kind of talent we're seeing here, as Rupesh Paneni is still very much in the fight. Kyra Enns as well. But Mason Kuhn goes a bit wide and drops back. He may have indeed lost his pack and be under the clutches very shortly of Ian Joyner, Adrian Hopp, Zoltan Zomator, and indeed Michael Huber. 3 German drivers accompanying Ian Joyner, all looking for a slice of the action.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happened to Barrett Brummett on the way into turn 1 there. He was right in the mix with Hopp, Zomator, and Joyner. What happened here? Did he get on the brakes a bit too late? Oh, Joyner moved across there.
That's not
He
Joyner.
got on the... oh, no, it's not. My apologies. It's Zomator, right?
I think it's Zomator or Valdes Mansavicius. Don't quote me on that, but definitely, unfortunate, ladies and gentlemen, indeed, Barrett Brummett will not be happy with that incident, understandably so, but definitely a chance for review. Ladies and gentlemen, top piece of advice, keep your relative up when sim racing. Can give you a good idea about where cars are around you, but right now, Connor Bell, he's looking to do the last to first challenge. He's done it in NASCAR Canada, ladies and gentlemen, but can he do it here in the Almeida Racing Academy at Aragon?
Yeah, that being said, though, I have noticed drivers getting unstable over the curb on the entry to turn 1. That might have been what caused that crash. We don't want to go too far one way or the other. Apparently, neither do these guys. Too wide for the lead. Connor Bell defending the inside from Rupesh Paneni. Cairo Enns all the way on the lock stops there. You really got to crank the wheel to even stand a chance of getting through that hairpin. And now, neither of the leaders have much of a slipstream. Cairo Enns has the advantage, and he will get alongside Rupesh Paneni on the way down the front straight as the white flag flies at the flag stand. 1 lap to go. Can Enns go for it here versus Connor Bell? Once again, a bit of instability across the curb there. And Cairo Enns still on the inside of our head coach here, or one of our coaches here at the Almeida Racing Academy. This is going to go all the way around this final lap, and Mason Kuhn is back in the fight as well.
Attaboy Mason, he's looking to try and regain that lead, ladies and gentlemen, but certainly you can see there Cairo Enns demonstrating exactly how useful traffic can be. Rupesh Paneni had the drop, but he had absolutely nowhere to go. Connor Bell did it just a few laps ago as well. This is prime racecraft at its finest, ladies and gentlemen, but can Connor Bell hold on? We got 2 Canadians at the front of the grid. Can they hold on and take a victory here for the Maple Leafs? Anybody who knows hockey knows the Leafs do not often get a score, but can the Canadian Maple Leaf indeed get 2 of the 3 podium spots?
That is the question. Connor Bell, winner in the Academy and a winner in the real world as well. Cairo Enns has yet to visit the top step of the podium. Rupesh Paneni has taken wins thus far as well, and Mason Kuhn, of course, is the Split 1 championship leader. What's going to happen here? Paneni having half a look up the inside of Enns. They've allowed Connor Bell to get away there with that tiny bit of side-by-side. Enns was as late on the brakes as he dared. Now he's going to have to depend on the slipstream to have any chance of getting this.
Yeah, definitely. This is no doubt a stressful moment if you're driving one of those cars. Connor Bell is going to be pretty relaxed at this point. He's got the experience, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, a lot of these drivers, without a doubt, some very talented individuals. But right now, Rupesh Paneni, he's 2600 IR, ladies and gentlemen, and he's battling with some titans in the field. And indeed, right now, he's currently there in P3, but he's dropped back about 0.6 of a second here. Cairo Enns got a much better exit, and indeed, this could be an opportunity here. Are we going to see one hell of a send from Rupesh Paneni? As that's contact! Goes into the back. Rupesh Paneni says thank you very much, and Mason Kuhn looking to try and capitalize and get some points as well.
Oh, wow, there's the change there in the dying corners of the race. Can Cairo Enns hold on to a podium position, or will Mason Kuhn get the slipstream and get past him? Connor Bell crosses the line and wins race 1. Rupesh Paneni in second, and Enns manages to keep Mason Kuhn off the podium. What a fight there on the final lap. Enns, unfortunately, just a bit too late on the brakes at the hairpin, got into the back of Bell, and Paneni was there to pick up the pieces.
I gotta say, fair play to him. What an absolutely fantastic race. Despite the fact it wasn't the win that he was looking for, it was no doubt an absolutely valiant fight. Like, fair play to him. Without a doubt, his best race we've seen here on pit road.
For sure. Just a couple of cars left to get across the line, and we can go through our results for race number 1 from 21st on the grid as Kevin Adrian gives us a show there in the runoff area at turn 1. Connor Bell will take the win with Pineni and Enns completing the podium. Enns wins the club class. Mason Kuhn and Ian Joyner rounding out your top 5 there. Zoltan Zomator, Adrian Hopp and Michael Hooper. 3 Germans in a row, 6th through to 8th. And Valdas Vancevicius, the Lithuanian, in P9 with Jeffrey Westland managing to make it to P10, up 3 positions. Not bad.
I'm going to say, speaking of positions gained, Tyler Harker had definitely got caught up in that incident early on, but despite that, managed to recover all the way to P11. Bas van der Lee, he's there in 12th with Carlos Picano in 13th. Rich Meesters takes 14th with Carlton Howard in 15th with Dominic Sayu right behind in 16th. Steve Sanders, he is here, ladies and gentlemen. He's there in 17th with Suka Vakaseo in 18th with Philip Masson in 19th with Jeffrey Adkins rounding out the top 20.
Yeah, Kevin Adrian, unfortunately, with contact on the formation lap, had to settle for 21st in the end. Barrett Brummett a lap down with his unfortunate crash. And Andrew Calabrese was not able to get to the end either. It's a real shame for some of the drivers here today, but the top 8 have been inverted here for the start of race 2. That means that Michael Hooper is on pole alongside Adrian Hopp with Zomator, Joyner, Kuhn, Enns, Pineni and Bell rounding out your top 8 on the grid, but you'll see that Bell has stopped over the side of the track there on the blimp shot in the background. He is going back to the rear of the grid to do it all over again.
Absolutely fantastic stuff indeed. The rest of the grid should, without a doubt, be in the same order they finished, ladies and gentlemen. So certainly with the short pace lap, we're going to leave that alone for just a minute. But I've got to say, what an absolutely beautiful view here. Don't get me wrong, it's not the outright winner. Certainly Phillip Island offering some beautiful scenery as well. But I've got to say, it's not a bad place to be.
No, for sure. In southern Spain, in a very dry, arid region. And it's a great place to go and watch some racing. For my money, though, I think the best scenery in iRacing belongs to Mugello. I hope that we can go there at some point in this championship. But it's time for the race. Pace car into the pit lane, and Michael Hooper accelerates early. As the green flag flies, immediately Adrian Hopp on the defense because Ian Joyner got a bit of a run on him there, but he'll be on the outside coming into turn 1. It's another big dive from Mason Kuhn, and once again, he's unable to make it work versus Ian Joyner. He's under pressure from Enns and Pineni, but it's a runaway lead at the moment for Michael Hooper with Zoltan Zomator and Adrian Hopp giving chase.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic start there. And incredible that he's managed to do it with such a long straightaway as well, ladies and gentlemen. Right now, he's got half a second clearing the rest of the field. And indeed, if he can keep that going, he's going to be set. You need to clear these cars by about a second to escape the draft, ladies and gentlemen. But indeed, everybody's saying close by, except for Steven Saunders. I'm not sure what happened with him, but he's currently showing as 19 seconds back. Interesting.
Potential problem. Potential problem there for Saunders. Oh, he did. Yeah, I just went back to check. That's interesting. Yeah, not sure why that was the case, but hopefully he'll be able to make up a few spots with Michael Hooper still leading the way. And basically, it's everyone else behind, all battling as one. Rich Meesters having a good view here of Tyler Harker and Valdas Vancevicius battling over 8th and 9th as things stand. And Rich with, I believe, his VR headset there, a very sleek VR headset. He'll have a nice view into these corners. I think this is a track where having VR is quite an advantage. You'll actually be able to see around that final hairpin.
Yeah, that could definitely be a good strategy there. And indeed, myself, I personally prefer triples, ladies and gentlemen, but each to their own. That's mainly...
Oh, no!
Oh dear.
Vancevicius spinning there. Looks like contact between himself and Harker.
Oh dear. All right, replay.
Cue it up. Load the tape. Valdas Vancevicius leading the fight there, and Harker trying to get up the inside of him there, but made a bit of contact on the exit, it seems. That, and they were over the curb, so there would have been less available grip there to Valdas, unfortunately, all the way back to 21st.
Well, fair play to him. At least he did indeed survive. No other cars came into contact. But right now, Andrew Calabrese looking to try and make an improvement from the last race. And indeed, he's battling it out with Bas van der Lee. Saying that, wow, attaboy, he's up 11 positions. Ladies and gentlemen, he is a hard charger in the field right now and doing an absolutely fantastic job. But don't get me wrong, he's got Carlton Howard ahead of him in that beautiful green liveried Almeida Racing car. Can he make his way forward and make his way again towards the top 10? Rich Meese is currently holding on to that spot.
Yeah, this is a really good run from Calabrese, and makes me wonder what race 1 would have been like for him had he not crashed out. He definitely has the pace to work things nicely here. It looks like Cairo Enz and Zoltan Zomator are losing spots, and it would appear that there was some kind of issue out of this corner we're coming through at the moment. Not quite sure what's going on there. Looks like Zoltan Zomator's problems are continuing. He's off the circuit, and so is Enz. Enz has stopped there and sideways. What's going on here?
Well, definitely, it was good to see him on the podium. But ladies and gentlemen, let's find out exactly what happened here to Cairo Enz, driver of the 117. You can see Jeffrey Westland there alongside Enz on the inside, and it just looked like it looked like Westland didn't even see he was there.
Yeah, looks like it. Enz was definitely alongside. He was past the halfway point of Westland's car at the time of contact. Yeah, that's, I think, just an unfortunate incident between the two of them. A lucky escape, though.
Yeah, I have a feeling Westland maybe got a little bit of a slide going as well. I could just hear it starting to break traction as well. Indeed, definitely not the result he was looking for. Let's check in back with the lead packers. Indeed, Michael Hooper has managed to extend the gap to about 9/10 of a second. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, that's Westland and Calabrese off the circuit. So Westland's troubles have continued, and this time Calabrese gets involved as well. It'll grant a freebie to many drivers there, including Carlos Facania. The Brazilian, currently in P12. Westland, it appears, spun by himself. Now, how does Calabrese factor into this?
Yeah, I'm just trying to work that one out as well.
Well, we'll find out in just a couple of moments. And Westland keeping his slide going on the grass. Unfortunately, might not be able to get this replay for you all. So I'm going to go back myself and check what happens, Zippy.
Well, by all means, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for Mr. One and Only Reese Gardner. Right now, let's indeed return to the lead battle as Michael Hooper is starting to feel a little bit of pressure. Last season's champion, ladies and gentlemen, I'm forgetting it. Well, it's 2026 now, and indeed, I am an old man at heart. Last season and last year's champion, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ian Joyner, certainly starting to apply the pressure now. He's got that gap down to under 0.3 of a second. Indeed, Adrian Hopp looking to try and stay with him as well. Rupesh Paneni, however, back 1.9 seconds from Adrian Hopp. He's going to have to work very hard if he wants to find his way up onto the podium.
Yeah, it's a tough job from here because Paneni doesn't have any slipstream off anyone in front of him, so he might just have to work together with Mason Kuhn to catch up to these guys. Goes a bit wide out of turn 9 and might give a big advantage here to the Split 1 championship leader. Problem for Carlton Howard as well. He's falling down the order. Something's gone very wrong for him. Connor Bell with a slowdown to his name, evidently trying to avoid all of that. I did go back and check to see what happened to Calabrese. It was nothing too drastic, no contact or anything. Did the same thing Westland did, just spun, like Kevin Adrian apparently just has.
Yeah, definitely a few drivers there really pushing the cars, pushing the limits of grip indeed. But definitely glad to hear that Calabrese didn't get involved in too big an incident. But right now, Rich Meese is... he's pretty much running solo at the minute. Not really anybody too far ahead or behind. But look at this, though. Carlos Facania is very much... he's bringing a whole fleet of cars with him, ladies and gentlemen. P8 all the way down to about P13. Very much in the mix. There's indeed Bas van der Lee going side by side with Zoltan Zomator. And both of them gaining on the Brazilian driver ahead. Look at three wide behind.
Yeah, well, that's Bell, Westland, and Brummett. Bell on the inside and gets the move done on the two of them at once. And now right with Bas van der Lee. This is Westland's view of things. And, well, if it weren't for his troubles, he'd be a couple of positions further up the road. But he has an opportunity to tow himself along in the slipstream here as these guys try to make their way forward to Rich Meesters. But it doesn't look like they're able to really match his pace. They're too busy battling with each other at the moment. They are costing themselves time. Meesters set a 2:17.0 on the last lap. All of these guys were about a second or more slower.
Yeah, Meesters definitely getting some pace out of that right now. And indeed, if you go below P8, there is a huge field of cars in the 218 region for a good margin, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, they are slowing each other down by fighting. But right now, I've got to say, the fastest lap in the race is held by this man. No surprises by too many people. Ian Joyner making it into the 215s, ladies and gentlemen, with 215.9.
Excellent pace from Joyner, gaining some good slipstream off Hooper. Getting very unsettled over the curb there was Zomator as Westland makes the move on him at turn 8. It's nicely consolidated there. Connor Bell now getting towards the head of this pack. Seems that Carlos Facania has just been minding his own business at the front of this fight. Hasn't been involved in any real overtakes there. And it would appear that everyone behind him has been more than happy to do all of that hard work. Meesters, meanwhile, all on his own here in P7. He's actually had a really good run so far. Remember, he started and finished race 1 in 14th, so he's already halved his way up the order.
Absolutely fantastic stuff there from Rich Meesters. But right now, let's take an eye here with Kevin Adrian. Indeed, he's going to be looking to try and make a recovery. Despite the fact he had that off, he is up 3 positions to Philip Masson. Not quite sure what happened there, but had to end up going a little bit deep. And right now, Kevin Adrian able to sneak through. But right behind him, he's got Calabrese and Masson, both looking to try and take that position back and make their way up towards the top 17.
Change for the lead as well. Ian Joyner gets past Michael Hooper, and that was a slipstream pass into an outbraking at the hairpin. So the 3 laps to go now with Joyner in the lead, and it would appear Mason Kuhn has no chance of catching up to these guys, and he will lose a few points out of this one. He's going to be going almost 3 wide there with Rupesh Panini and Tyler Harker. Into turn 1 they come behind, and it looks like Kuhn is going to lead the way out up to P4. Not bad.
Nicely done here, as indeed Rupesh Panini is going to be keen to try and find his way forward. Tyler Harker as well, definitely a student who has been making quite the entrance here. He's currently leading the club class, ladies and gentlemen, with the next nearest competition being Carlos Facania back in P10. So certainly a little bit of a shake-up here for the second race of the morning, the afternoon, or indeed the evening, wherever you may be.
Oh yes, for that matter, I just remember you asked me about that in qualifying. Race 1 was around about 3 p.m. in sim time, and here in race 2 it is 5 minutes to 4 in the afternoon. This being January in Europe, the sun is quite low in the sky.
Indeed, it looks like something's happened with Dominic Sayu. Meanwhile, though, Carlos Facania, oh my word. Carlos Facania, Jeffrey Wesson, Zoran Zomato, and indeed Bats van der Lee all fighting for the same position, that is E9.
Yeah, it was wide for Facania there through turn 8. Connor Bell made his way past him earlier in the lap, it looks like, and he's already skipping away in P8. He's going to be giving chase to Rich Meesters there. But Carlos is going to be keeping Jeffrey behind him. At least he'll be hoping that's the case. But a braking zone coming up. Can Westland get it done here? This will be the question. Cairo Enns gets it done on Barrett Brummett at the front of the pack, and it looks like Westland is through on Facania.
Absolutely fantastic stuff, and I'm starting to see, I think you can start to get moves done in the braking zone and almost get a slingshot for the next corner as well. I'm seeing quite a few of buy one, get one free kind of maneuvers there as Enns looking to try and continue making that advancement forward. He's currently P3 in the club class, ladies and gentlemen, with Jeffrey Atkins about 2 seconds behind. You can just see him there in the shot, ladies and gentlemen, in that beautiful purple car. That just appears to have maybe a smidge of damage, but don't quote me on that right now. But indeed, there is incredible battles going on with Carlos Facania leading it from P9 all the way down to P14, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, lovely battling going on here. Mega close quarters into the hairpin. No chance for Westland to get past the Brazilian there. But the German, Zoltan Zomator, is waiting in the wings. Looks like there's some trouble behind. Tuka Valkiasuo has lost a couple of positions as the slipstream is picked up here down the start-finish straight. Still plenty of racing left to go. 2 laps remaining. Meanwhile, it would appear that Kevin Adrian here trying to make the move on Tuka Valkiasuo. Driver slow on the way into the hairpin. No, I think Valkiasuo outbraked himself.
Yeah, thankfully no contact there, ladies and gentlemen. But indeed, let's go and check in back at the leader as Ian Joyner is starting to pull away, ladies and gentlemen. He's pulled up about 4 tenths, 5 tenths per second, depending on the lap. But the good thing is these two drivers, they have the potential to work together. Are we going to see a little bit of camaraderie there between fellow countrymen of Michael Hooper and Adrian Hopp? But Hopp, he's currently about 4 tenths back. He's going to need to catch up if he wants to try and help the 22.
Are you saying that he needs to hop to it?
Oh my gosh. Shame on you, Reese.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm here all week. Let's
make a kangaroo joke next.
Yeah, we're a bit far away from Australia at the moment. Well, we'll get things started here for this lead battle in the final 1.5 laps of this race. And Ian Joyner has been unwilling to give up the lead for the most part. Michael Hooper did try to pass him back on the previous lap, but Joyner wasted no time getting back by him. We'll keep an eye as well on this pack for P9. Westland leading from Zomotor, Fakanya, Enns, Vanderlee, and Brummett. All in a line from 9th down to 14th. Who's going to get the best out of this one? Enns, I think, on pace. He's shown himself to be the fastest of this pack. But can he maintain it? It looks like there was some contact for the lead in a straight line. Michael Hooper and Ian Joyner side by side again through the hairpin. Adrian Hopp is going to try and get his way alongside, but it's a bit hard to do when the track bends that way. White flag in the air, and Ian Joyner will lead across the line, but he's got Hooper and Hopp right on his tail.
I got a feeling this is going to get extra dicey. You can see a second battle emerging behind Mason Kuhn, Rupesh Panani, and indeed Tyler Harker. I have a feeling that this one may not emerge very cleanly. As you can see, Rupesh Panani very much getting the elbows out, ladies and gentlemen, as they make their way around turn 1. Oh dear. Oh dear.
Loving this. Tyler Harker willing to stick his nose in there. Rupesh Panani, though, seems calm and collected ahead of Mason Kuhn here. Mason is the one who's trying to find his way past, and Panani's doing a good job of putting his car in exactly the right spot. He's defending at every corner and leaving Kuhn frustrated on the exits.
Well, multiple battles happening, ladies and gentlemen, but indeed we're going to return to the lead battle for the conclusion of this race. Michael Hooper has managed to find his way to the front of the pack. He started P1 with that invert grid. Can he deliver on that, ladies and gentlemen? Ian Joyner currently up 2 spots regardless, but indeed a force to be reckoned with. Can Adrian Hopp find his way into the mix here as well? He's had great pace as well, but can he find his way and potentially slingshot the pair of them and make his way to the top step? We're going to have to find out as the last couple of corners are about to get underway.
Here we go then. Defensive from Michael Hooper. He didn't have the best exit out of turn 9. Joyner almost thought about moving to the inside there, I thought, but that's just the way the track bends once again. It's all about the exit from this set of corners coming up right here. Joyner a bit later on the brakes than Hooper, but as long as you can brake early, turn in early, accelerate early, you will have the run, and that's exactly what Hooper's done there. Nice exit versus Ian Joyner, but now the slipstream beckons.
Yeah, I have a feeling that Ian Joyner has definitely planned this out, and indeed Adrian Hopp as well. As here we go, here comes a move from Joyner, as we're going to see 2 wide, ladies and gentlemen. Are we going to see 3 wide? Adrian Hopp lurking in the background. Is he going to go for it? He's applying pressure there, and you got to wonder, is there anywhere really for him to go? As Michael Hooper will indeed take the long way round. A little bit of a squeeze there, and you got to wonder, can Adrian Hopp maybe give him a little bit of a shot there? Hooper over the curb, but Joyner finds his way up into the top step of the podium.
It does indeed. Fantastic drive from Ian Joyner. Got the elbows out from time to time. Zomotor's picked up a black flag, but Joyner crosses the line in P1. Look at the battle behind as well. Kuhn, Panani, and Harker very close. And it's 2 by 2 here between Brummett, Vanderlee, Westland, and Enns. Cairo shuffled out there into the pits on the final lap. Zoltan Zomotor, but it's a bit too late to serve that. It will be added on to the end of his race in time, but Barrett Brummett getting the last position in the top 10 on the final lap.
Yeah, I have a feeling something got very interesting near the end of this. Okay, here we go. That's what happened with Cairo and Zoltan Zomotor and indeed Carlos Facania. That would explain why they got a warning, ladies and gentlemen. Then you see Barrett Brummett there in the background as well. He getting caught up, and then, oh my giddy aunt, ladies and gentlemen, the carnage unfolds.
Yeah, there was a bit of contact there between Inns and Westland through the final couple of corners. Zomator, I think, went over the incident limit thanks to that little bit of contact, which he really was an innocent victim of. Zomator didn't really play any part in that contact. He was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. But that's just how it goes sometimes.
Oh, my word.
Yeah, okay. That looks to be, is that Domenico Sayu coming across the line
indeed.
there?
He definitely wins the open spec, open concept spec racer Ford award that we're going to have today. But fair play to him. But indeed, we should probably take a look here at the results.
Yep, Ian Joyner started 4th, finishes in the lead with Michael Hooper and Adrian Hopp joining him on the podium. A great three-way battle between those drivers. Mason Kuhn winning the battle with Rupesh Panetti and Tyler Harker for P4, and Harker wins the club class with Meesters, Bell, Fakanya, and Bromett rounding out the top 10.
Let's have a look there. P11, Bas van der Lee. He takes that with Jeffrey Westland in 12. Cairo ends, despite the contacts, able to get 3rd in club class. A great points haul there. He's going to be enjoying that. And indeed, P13 overall with Kevin Adrian right behind in 14th. Jeffrey Atkins takes 15th with Philip Masson in 16th. Valdis Fansavicius, the man himself, in 17th with Andrew Calabrese, the Canadian driver, in 18th. Carlton Howard takes 19th with Steve Saunders, for some reason starting from the pits today, in 20th.
Zoltan Zomator had time added on to the end of this race thanks to his black flag, and he'll be classified 21st ahead of Domenico Sayu, and Tuka Valkiasuo does finish the race, albeit 1 lap down, I believe. So not ideal for the Finn, but he certainly has potential for top 10 pace, so should be nice to see him get back on track in the final race, which is going to be coming up soon here, Zippy. 20 minutes on the clock for it. That's an extra 5 minutes to sort those battles out. It might, at the same time, calm things down slightly in these fights.
It might, but I have a feeling it's going to be even more action, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, this has definitely been my first time here at Aragon, but indeed, I'm absolutely loving it. The Spec Racer Ford and indeed the Almeida Academy delivering some fantastic racing action. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to be part of this league, if you want to go faster, if you want to improve your racecraft, not just in the sim, but in the real world as well, you need to be part of the Almeida Racing Academy. 100%. Check out SwellioAlmeida.com. Find your way on over, and indeed look forward to next season coming very shortly. Not only that, they are in the process of making endurance teams as well. I've been lucky enough to get in on one of them. Reese, we should probably get you in on that as well, actually, come to think of it. It'd be good to... Reese can actually drive very, very well, ladies and gentlemen. He's a talented individual, much more than myself. But in the meantime, though, let's maybe have a chat here from the man himself, Mr. Swellio Almeida.
Now he's here teaching all his secrets to all these drivers. This is Almeida Racing Academy,
where every champion has a starting line.
The sim racer turned real world superstar, Swellio Almeida.
It's Connor Bell racing in his own backyard for the very first time in the NASCAR Canada Series.
The workshops helped out so much. Something about battling with somebody faster than you, it just pushes you that little bit further, and I was able to just keep developing my skill.
I can kind of commit more with the exit there. That was good. If you do take sim racing seriously, it does impact your racing technique for the rest of your life.
I know how the car is going to perform around these corners because the model I have in the sim. Just the benefit of sim racing when you go into real life, I don't think people quite realize it yet.
You have infinite track time is the biggest factor. You are able to try so many things, and the physics that are simulated in the sim nowadays, especially iRacing, are so close to real life.
Creating champions.
Swellio Almeida is a master at his craft. He's outclassed a Le Mans driver, a European Le Mans Series racer.
These guys are among the top 0.02% in the world.
Designed to create champions.
First NASCAR Canada start. First NASCAR victory for Connor Bell.
Connor Bell standing on the podium here today.
This is the Almeida Racing Academy 3.0.
Wait a race, buddy, wait a race.
You're watching the Almeida Racing League here on Pit Road Productions and Swellio Almeida's channel. whichever platform you are from, we welcome you if you're just joining us. My name's Reese Gardner, Daniel Zippy Salmon alongside me in the commentary box. We're here at Aragon for round 5 of the 6th season of the Almeida Racing League, the 2nd season that we've been running the Spec Racer Fords as the car of choice, and it's a decision that we've been happy with from the moment it was announced. We definitely know the potential for these cars to provide fantastic racing, and the students at the Academy have really shown what they can do in these fine machines. We're getting ready for the start of the final race of the day here. The 20-minute feature is upon us, and the grid will be set by the results of race 2. So get ready for the run into turn 1 one final time here before we pack up and get ready for next week. Ian Joyner and Michael Hooper are your front row, with Adrian Hopp and Mason Kuhn on the second row. Rupesh Paneni starts 5th alongside Tyler Harker, who has pole in the club class. Rich Meesters and Connor Bell starting P8. I would imagine Bell is going to drop to the back of the grid again. Carlos Facania and Barrett Brummett round out the top 10.
As we have a look there at P11, it's going to be Bas van der Lee alongside Jeffrey Westland in 13th. We're looking a little bit further back. We're going to have the one and only Cairo enter Kevin Adrian alongside. Jeffrey Atkins takes 15th with Philip Masson in 16th. Valdez Vanessa-Vicious, he's there in 17th with Andrew Calabrese in 18th. Carlton Howard takes 19th with the gentleman himself, Mr. Steve Saunders in 20th, with Zoltan Zomator in 21st, Dominic Sayu taking 22nd, and indeed Tuka Valcaseo, just one of the finish drivers we got here today, in 23rd.
Yes, all the way at the back of the grid, but I hope that he'll at least be able to make up a few positions out of this one. There's a few drivers who will be feeling quite embattled out of this one. Zoltan Zomator, I remember he started 3rd for race 2, but some incidents and a black flag for breaching the incident limit, putting him back to 21st place. Also dropping positions in the races, Carlton Howard and Andrew Calabrese. And remember, Calabrese made up a ton of positions in race 2 before he unfortunately fell by the wayside. So let's see if he can take advantage of this one more chance to get that done. The drivers are really aggressively weaving this round. It would appear the track is quite cool. It is 21 degrees Celsius here, as it's now 10 past 5 p.m. in sim time. It's the end of the day here in virtual Spain. Let's see what Motorland Aragon will bring to us here for the final race of the day in round 5 of the Almeida Racing Academy League Season 6. Joyner once again weaving all the way to the green flag, accelerates away, and we are live for the last race. A good battle forming between the Germans already. Michael Hooper versus Adrian Hopp into turn 1, but Mason Kuhn, he's in all 3 races today. Made a big dive at turn 1. This time it doesn't work out for him. He spun around on the exit.
Yeah, that was definitely a high-risk, low-reward strategy for him there. But right now, Ian Joyner is currently leading the race. He's managed to hold on. Adrian Hopp not able to stay with the lead 2 there on this occasion. They're currently getting away by about 6 tenths per second, but the entire field all close together except for Mason Kuhn. Indeed, Valdez Vanessa-Vicious as well. He's dropped back, and indeed, I believe he may have indeed be out of it at this point. Meanwhile, let's return back to further through in the pack here as these drivers are all duking it out in this final race of the day. The sun is going down.
Yeah, it's going down wherever you look as the field tries their best to keep things clean here on lap 1. As we keep our eyes peeled on Rupesh Paneni here behind Adrian Hopp. A slight wiggle there for Tyler Harker. He's going to open things up to Connor Bell, who decided to take his starting position for this final race. I'm sure he'll try to put the move on here at turn 11. Big question is, are you brave enough to do it on lap 1 with the tyres this cold? Evidently not, even if you are the coach in residence.
Yeah, indeed, that comes with wisdom there, and indeed, we've got a lot of wisdom in this man, at least going by his date of birth. I'm so sorry, Rick. I can't cook, but I sure can roast, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, Rich Meesters there, rocking the VR livery. He's currently doing well, and actually, as I say that, we got a couple more drivers who have joined the driver camps, ladies and gentlemen.
It would appear we have. Well, as we come to the end of the first lap here, the hairpin being the braking zone of choice for these big moves. Gotta wonder if anyone's going to hint at something. I thought Bell was going to do it there on Tyler Harker, but apparently not. Hooper has gone wide. Adrian Hopp has gone wide in the hairpin, and that's let Rupesh Paneni through to third place. We'll see what they can do here at the front, because it looks like Joyner and Hooper might run away with it if they don't sort themselves out.
Yeah, definitely got to think about the long game, especially being a 20-minute race. If memory serves me right, these drivers will indeed have to make a pit stop, ladies and gentlemen. Personally, I think that is fantastic. It definitely adds another element here. So Ian Joyner, he's going to have a hard time saving fuel, not just by leading the race, but indeed having Michael Hooper, Rupesh Paneni, and indeed the rest of the entire field chasing him in pursuit.
Yes, this is looking like a nice pack for the front of the field. I don't think there's going to be a pit stop in this race. We only see pit stops in the 40-minute features and the 1-hour endurance rounds. So, yeah, that is going to be a slight correction there. But regardless, we're going to be seeing a good sprint here once again. It's been non-stop action at this track so far today. And I'm sure this final race is going to bring even more of that. Just having said that, there's some action. Jeffrey Adkins is towed back to pit lane, and we'll see what happened to him here. Gets over the curb, very unstable, and the Armco was there to greet him.
Well, fair play to him. He did at least get caught, but not by a soft velvety glove. Indeed, was a piece of Armco. Definitely steel is not quite as soft as you would want in that scenario. But Valdez Vansevicius definitely appears to have left, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly disappointed to see that there. It looks like Steve Saunders now getting into a battle as well. Indeed, he is. Look at the man go. Oh, my word!
Oh! That's Colton Howard. He's managed to keep it out of the tire barriers. Very nice recovery. But, yeah, I don't think he'll be too happy with how that went down. We'll get a replay of that one. Man, okay, a little bit of a tap to the side of, I don't even know who that was. Was it Saunders, I wonder?
Masson.
A little overcorrection there. Philippe Masson, yes. So, Carlton Howard manages to find that tarmac access road just in time, and will move back onto the track. Masson still fighting hard here with Steven Saunders on the way into the corner, but it's 3 wide. A big move up the inside from Mason Kuhn, who's trying to make a recovery from his error at turn 1. Just for context, Valdez Vansevicius, his connection actually dropped. He didn't leave by choice.
Oh, definitely. I can definitely sympathize for that, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly, it's been it was a rough week for Pit Road Productions, but a huge thank you there to our friend Rob for helping us keep the show going. As indeed, for a second there, I thought they were going to go 4 wide, but indeed, Steve Saunders getting into his battles. It's good to see he's out, and not only that, did not have a pit lane start on this occasion.
Yes, for sure. Looking nice for Steven at the moment. Up 2 positions from where he started, and in the middle of a nice battle pack. He'll want to try and get free of them and try and move his way a bit further forward, but it might be a bit more difficult than they think. Look at the gap ahead of them. That little dot in the distance is Zoltan Zomator, who's made up 7 positions so far in this race. Kevin Adrian is another 3 seconds or so ahead of him.
Yeah, definitely going to have to put the work in if he wants to find his way forward, ladies and gentlemen. But certainly, he's also taken over as one of the roles as the Almeida Academy. I'm trying to think what the title they give them, but basically he's like a community member and helps organize this. Oh dear, that's
bizarre! Philippe, the Frenchman, spinning here on the Iberian Peninsula. And that's going to be all the way down to 20th. Even Sayu has found his way past Philippe there. So unfortunate to get a spin. These curbs at this circuit, they are quite flat. They are of that very flat ripple type curve that is typical of motorcycle circuits, but they do hide some low grip that can catch you out.
Yeah, definitely, and we do have somebody here in the chat, Ali Altenfried. That's fantastic. It is indeed a bit challenging to try and catch these cars once they get a little bit snappy. I've got to agree with you on that, but certainly good to see you here in the chat. By all means, make sure you hit that subscribe button. In the meantime, that's Tyler Harker making a move up on the inside of Michael Hooper. At least he's trying to, not quite able to get the move done. Yeah, oh dear, Hooper goes around on... Oh, almost caught it.
Yeah, has to spin around as that frenetic battle between Fakanya, Westland, Meesters, Vanderlei, and Adrian continues. He gets back rolling, does the number 22, but he'll be all the way down in 15th now. Quite a bit of time lost. And well, he'll shortly have Andrew Calabrese for company. What happened to him here at the penultimate corner? He was on the inside, got over the curb. There's a little bump there at the apex that you can't quite see, you know, from where you're sitting in the driver's seat. We can't even see it from the blimp, so unfortunate there.
Oh, here we got another incident between Dominic Soyo, Steve Saunders, and indeed, I believe that was Tuca Valcaseo, as a 3 did not go in a 1 on that occasion.
No, it did not, and Steven had to maybe do a 3-point turn to get that back onto the track. In fact, it looks like he's towed back to pit lane, so Steven Saunders has had an incredibly rough day of racing today. Commiserations to you, Steve. Hopefully you have better luck next time.
Indeed, and oh, we got Alyssa McKenzie in the track. Oh yeah, okay, we saw her last night in the Formula 1200s, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you very much, Alyssa.
Yes.
Good to see you here. We had, that's right, if I remember rightly, Sharon. There we go. I just made the connection, ladies and gentlemen. The penny has indeed dropped. I am now 1 cent richer, albeit mentally, ladies and gentlemen. But let's have a little bit of a look here, as right now, Rupesh Panani is currently dropping back here to Ian Joyner. He's got about a 5/10 of a second lead on this pack, but right now, Tyler Harker and Connor Bell there, looking to try and apply even more pressure, with Cairo Ends making his way up 7 positions, ladies and gentlemen. Fantastic stuff, as he's currently in P6 overall.
Yeah, working out nicely with 11.5 minutes still on the clock, and my timing telling me 5 laps to go. Harker makes his way past Pineni. He's actually getting a little push from Connor Bell, but Pineni responds in the braking zone. Gets up the inside there. Ends and Hop can only watch on as this battle continues. Got to be very careful over that bump there. But out of the final turns they come. And this is where things will really get down to brass tacks. On the way into turn 1, pulling out of the slipstream is Tyler Harker. And Ian Joyner can see all of this happening in his mirrors, and he's probably thinking, thank God, I can actually get myself a clean run here.
I think that's exactly what he's going to be thinking, ladies and gentlemen. As indeed, we're going 2 by 2, ladies and gentlemen. It is a lead pack of about 6-7 cars right now, but Ian Joyner currently extending that gap. He's almost a 7/10 of a second as more battles happening behind, ladies and gentlemen. Cairo Ends at the tail end of this pack with Adrian Hop alongside. Indeed, these two guys are fighting for P6.
Yeah, this is a real frenetic battle. Ends up 8 positions, and it looks like that's the most positions gained of anyone in this field. He's recovered very nicely from how race 2 went for him. Don't forget he was in contention for the win in race 1 as well, so has a lot of potential here to make good on that pace, but a little bit of a flick of the wheel there to arrest the slide coming out of turn 9. That's not going to do wonders for his exit there.
Yeah, definitely just trying to find a little bit more grip, ladies and gentlemen. But right now, you can see here, Tyler Harker is looking to try and find his way forward. Rupesh Vanelli, I believe, has a little bit of damage on the front nose cone of that Spec Racer Ford. But despite that, they have caught up to Ian Joyner by about 0.05 of a second. They do need to push a little bit harder. If not, the number 18 is going to do exactly what he does best, ladies and gentlemen. He's going to check out and run away with this race.
Yeah, that's often how it felt at times last season. Joyner was just able to get a gap when it counted, and everyone else tripping over each other behind him. It just left him to cruise to victory. And we're going to see the same thing here in race 3. Remains to be seen, but look at the slipstream that Connor Bell has gotten there as the moves are made into the braking zone, almost like positioning your pieces on the chessboard. A little bit wide there for Tyler Harker. In fact, about as wide as you can go without going off track. He's fallen behind Ends.
Yeah, it looks like Cairo said thank you very much, saw the door open and waltzed right through. But let's take a look here at the battles further on in the field. It looks like Bas van der Lee getting into it with Rich Meesters.
Yeah, Kevin Adrian holding on to P9 up ahead of them. And van der Lee and Meesters will come to blows here into turn 1. Meesters gets the run, and things are looking nice for him at the moment. Zoltan Zomator, Mason Kuhn, and Carlos Facania are chasing them side by side between the two drivers of Meesters and Van der Lee. And, well, Kevin Adrian evidently is full-on eyes forward there. He's in a similar position to Joyner. He's about half a second ahead of the pack chasing him, and they're too involved with each other to really have a go at him.
Yeah, that's definitely what you want to see, ladies and gentlemen, as Rich Meesters goes into that corner really hard. And I thought for a second there he'd overshot, but actually managed to stay there with Kevin Adrian, carried in an absolutely monumental amount of speed there. But it looks like we've got more battles further back, ladies and gentlemen. Tuca Valcaseo having a battle here with Philippe Masson.
Yes, two drivers who have been rather embattled today. Masson occupying the same position he started in, but for how long? Tuca Valcaseo has made his way up from the back of the grid here. And they may be all alone on track with about 7 seconds to Michael Hooper in front and another 3 seconds to Domenico Sayu behind them. But they are having a wonderful time, or at least Turco is, because Philippe Masson with a bit of a slip out of turn 9. He hasn't had much luck at that corner, has he?
Yeah, he definitely got a little bit of a wiggle there, but right now it looks like Connor Bell has made his way up to the front of the pack, ladies and gentlemen. I say that, not quite. He's still got Ian Joyner standing between him and the lead, as indeed they have got 7 minutes left to go in this race. Joyner looking to try and break the toe.
All right, here comes Connor Bell potentially. Oh, he's going to bump draft Ian Joyner a little bit. There's the second bump. Just in time for them to get to the braking zone for the hairpin. Battle going on behind. 3 wide for Bas van der Lee, Mason Kuhn, and Rich Meesters as the leaders make their way out of the hairpin. Have a look at this. This is a great battle. Kevin Adrian got a slowdown just a few moments ago. And, he gets a tap from Carlos Facania for his troubles as well. Side by side between Van der Lee and Meesters again. Those guys can't seem to shake each other off. Mason Kuhn has made his way to the front of this pack, and it looks like he's going to stay there.
Yeah, he's currently about half a second ahead, and indeed he's going to hope that he can break that draft as well, but it's not quite out of range here as Meesters and Bas van der Lee are duking it out. Turn 1 has been an absolutely prime passing opportunity here, as it looks like Zoltan Zomator now applying the pressure to Bas van der Lee. Kevin Adrian as well, he just got absolutely mugged.
Yeah, that was quite a drop there from Bas van der Lee. Kevin Adrian, opportunistic as ever, moving back through into P12. Will he see any chance of getting past Zomator, Meesters, and Kuhn here to round out that top 10? Still 5.5 minutes remaining. So when they cross the line next, it should be 2 laps to go here at Aragon. This is where you need to make those moves and make them count.
Indeed, it is. We've got some absolutely cringeworthy statements going on in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. By all means, we love it when you guys interact in the chat. And actually reminds me, Leon Benvelton, ladies and gentlemen, good to see if he could return to the Almeida Racing Academy. Well, without a doubt, the largest cheerleading squad we've ever seen. Not only that, himself and Fernando Afonso, I believe, probably taking that honor as well. But right now, it's good to have you guys here in the chat, guys, girls. Everybody here in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. But right now, Ian Joyner doing everything he can to hold on to the Almeida Academy community manager, Connor Bell.
For sure. Yeah, it would be nice to see Leon Bentvelsen come back and have a run at this. He brought his entire family with him to cheer him on there in the YouTube chat. But here comes the leaders into the final corners here again. Connor Bell bump drafting Ian Joyner down the straight. Not interested in making the move until the final lap. He knows that Joyner will respond immediately if he makes the move right here, right now. But I think part of what's happening here is Connor Bell's trying to keep Rupesh Pineni from being a factor in this fight.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be able to shake Rupesh Pineni, but indeed it's starting to pull them away here from the lead pack being led by Adrian Hopp. I say that, the pack, it's himself and Cairo Enns. Cairo Enns, again, he's looking in the strong position right now. He's in P5 overall. His next closest competition, Tyler Harker, ladies and gentlemen, in the club class. You can see him there at the other end of the straight, but he's got Jeffrey Westland to deal with as well. Actually, let's give a shout out to this man, Zoltan Zomator. He's up 12 spots. Attaboy.
Yeah, that's crazy. Zomator, remember, was in the middle of this pack last time we looked at him. There's been quite a few shifts around, so Zomator finds himself in 9th, and whether or not he'll be able to hold on to that is another matter entirely. Rich Meesters right on the back of him, and Kevin Adrian wants to try and follow him through.
Indeed, I got a feeling this battle is going to be absolutely incredible. The largest pack we got in the session right now goes from P9 all the way down to P14, ladies and gentlemen. Michael Hooper, he was leading the race earlier on, and indeed, he's going to be looking to try and rank his way through this pack. But right now, the German driver down 12 positions with Bas van der Lee ahead. Mason Kuhn as well. Definitely not had the day he's been looking for. He's going to be looking to try and make up a few spots with that. I believe that is Bricks, ladies and gentlemen. That Brick liveried Spec Racer Ford.
Yes, it looks a bit like a charcuterie board in places. Nails the apex of turns 8 and 9 and gains a tiny bit of time on Kevin Adrian there. Is there going to be space to make a move here into the little diversion off the back stretch? Meisters will not have a chance to find his way past Zomator. Nice defense from Zoltan. And into the left-hander they come. Just avoid that sausage curb on the inside of the corner. You certainly don't want to hit that. It will ruin your race. Super close quarters here through this little chicane section we've got. But as I said at the end of race 2, it's this exit that's the most important. And it looks like none of them really going for that wide entry that would get them the speed down the straight. It's all going to come down to the slipstream once again.
Yeah, definitely. You can see we got Kevin Adrian lining up alongside here, and he's definitely got the run, at least so far. And it looks like Mason Kuhn. Uh-oh. We got C4 wide here. I'm all for it, ladies and gentlemen. See, that's the difference between being a broadcaster and a racer. As a broadcaster, 4-5 wide, absolutely. Oh dear, accordion effect. Oh. As a racer, though, definitely a little bit of a high-risk scenario. But despite that, Kevin Adrian able to find himself out on top. But I have a feeling... Nope, all is well. Cairo Owens and indeed Adrian Hopper pulled away for even further from Barrett Blummet, who's about 6.6 seconds behind. Meanwhile, at the lead pack, it is Joyner, Bell, and Panani holding on, not managing to pull away any further from Adrian Hop, who's leading Cairo Owens.
It is the final lap of the race, and so now this is where, if Connor Bell is trying to gear up a move on Joyner, this is the lap he's going to do it on. Rupesh Panini just needs to be ready to respond here. Because what I've noticed is the back section of the circuit off the back straight is where Panini seems to be losing the most time to Bell and Joyner. He's just not close enough to really be a factor in the slipstream. But maybe, if he can keep up with them through this section, he'll have that chance.
Yeah, and I have noticed as well that the two-car duet of Adrian Hop and Cairo Owens has got closer. They're close in about 4/10 of a second, ladies and gentlemen, so they could potentially be in this battle in the closing stages as well. That last podium spot may indeed be on the line, but right now, let's see again if we're going to see Connor Bell give Ian Joyner a bit of a bump draft. No, not yet, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, Bell holding on. I have a feeling he's been planning this pass for a while, but is he going to be able to make it happen? Ian Joyner, the reigning champion, ladies and gentlemen, under attack here from the Almeida Academy community manager.
Now, this apex right here, that's where things are set up. Hard on the power as best you can. Joyner gets a good run out of the corner and immediately moves across the track to go defensive into the hairpin. What's Connor Bell going to do this time? Is he going to get into the bump draft? It looks like he will. He's not going to go for the move just yet, but now the opportunity opens. Rupesh Paneni is boxed in, can't respond. It looks like, if anything, Bell is defending from Paneni, but he gets the inside, the apex contact with Joyner, and then falls behind Paneni at the penultimate corner. This is the chance that Adrian Hop needs to potentially get onto the podium ahead of them all. It is Ian Joyner who takes victory in race 3. Is there any changes here before the start-finish line? No. Rupesh Paneni defends P2 from Connor Bell.
Well, there is definitely an incident I need to go over very, very shortly. But right now, Kevin Adrian doing very well. He's leading this second pack here with Zoltan Zomator right behind as they do indeed make it across the line. Rich Meese is carrying a black flag as well. Let's find out exactly what happened here on lap 8.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for Rich. Let's see what happened here. Was this contact resulting in exceeding the incident limit? I have to wonder. Mason Kuhn trying to look for a move there on the inside, and then, oh dear. Looks to me like Zomator had a bit of a slide through the hairpin, and maybe Meester's got a maybe a 2x or something from that, maybe an off track. It's unclear, but whatever the case, I think maybe a slowdown as well.
Yeah, definitely not what he had in mind, and he did indeed pay the price for that, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly unfortunate indeed. That black flag, definitely, that's the thing with close racing, especially, you know, if you pick up a penalty, it is absolutely brutal trying to clear it, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, the checkered flag has gone off. We've got just two drivers waiting across the line there, Philip Masson and indeed Jeffrey Adkins. Let's take a quick peek to see whereabouts they are. Here comes Masson, ladies and gentlemen, driving the only orange livery we've had so far this season. Certainly, I remember when they used to do the Almeida Academy team events, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly, it was an interesting dynamic and made for a lot of fun as well. Certainly, it's that's something that's a little bit, we don't see it as often here on Pit Road Productions. You do have some events where they do have teams, but how often do we get team events where you can actually see them like working together and indeed trying to help each other for position? But right now, it does look like we got the results in from the main feature.
It would seem that way. Ian Joyner started on pole position and manages to take the win for the second time tonight. He had pole for race 1 as well, but couldn't quite pull off victory there. Rupesh Pinetti finishes second place, so that's 2 P2 finishes for him today. Connor Bell will grab the final spot on the podium there ahead of Adrian Hopp and Cairo Enns. Barrett Brummett finishes in 6th place. Good finish after the race 1 that he had. Tyler Harker as well. Outside the top 10 in race 1, but finishes solidly in the top 6, top 7 in races 2 and 3. Jeffrey Westland, Kevin Adrian and Zoltan Zomator round out your top 10, with Zomator making it up 11 places.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic gain there from Zoltan Zomator. Mason Kuhn in P11. Michael Hooper took 12. Definitely a little bit unfortunate of him, with Bas van der Lee in 13th. Rich Meeses took 14 with Carlos Facania in 15th. With, I got 2 different results here, ladies and gentlemen. Carlos Facania in 14th with Tuca Bacaseo in 15th. Dominic Sayu takes 16th with Philip Masson in 17th. Carlton Howard rounding out 18th. Rich Meeses, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. He takes that black flag and absolutely gets penalised there. He would have been 14th, pushes him back down to 19th, with Jeffrey Atkins rounding out your top 20. Andrew Calabresi 21st, Steve Saunders and Valdes Vansabisius indeed having early retirement as well. Definitely my sympathies to them, but certainly what an absolutely fantastic morning of racing, Reese. Absolutely incredible. Aragon on this broadcast was approved Princess Bucket List.
Yeah, a fantastic finish to the racing today, and it was non-stop action all the way through. Fantastic to see. It would appear we are joined by what we can call our round winner here, Ian Joyner, now with us. Congratulations on the results, Ian. Aragon certainly turning it up today. It looked like a track that afforded a lot of opportunities for close passes.
Yeah, it's loads of fun to race. Really tough. So many opportunities for people to get side by side. The back straight and breaking into that hairpin was super scary every time. It's so easy for someone to make a lock up behind and come into you. Very difficult. So the corner's so tight, really hard to go around there side by side. So it's almost every time you get through there in one piece, it was a good news. But yeah, it was a fun track. Yeah, it's really good to finish with a win. I'm still like the first one was so tough and didn't go great, but yeah, the next 2 went pretty well, so it was good.
Yeah, I think with those results and also Mason Kuhn falling by the wayside in race 3, it could be a good potential leg up for you in the championship. Things are getting a little bit closer up the top of the standings, but we do have still a bit over half the season left to run. Still early days, I reckon.
Yeah, it's a long season. It was nice to get the win in the feature. The points are heavily weighted towards the feature. And I've had a few go wrong for one reason or another, so it's nice to get that done. It's just fun being out there, really. It's a lot of fun practicing with the academy this week. Yeah, it's just a great track. Lots of things about it. Loads of different corner types, and really good for practicing wheel to wheel compared to. I keep calling it Montreal, but Circuit Gilles Villeneuve was. I'd say it's sort of equally hard, but just really different. But it's sort of easier to race on this because you haven't got those sort of really tight chicanes to find your way through. But the curbs here, the serration on them can make it very difficult to use. Plus we've got a bit of low sun at the end as well, which always makes it a little tricky to spot your braking points.
Yeah, indeed it does. But regardless, it is 2 wins on the board for you here at round number 5, Ian. Thanks very much for joining us. Congratulations on your results. Hopefully we'll see you again next week.
Thanks, Reece. See you then.
Ian Joyner there, and the next to join us, Zippy, appears to be Cairo Ends.
Well, Cairo, what an absolutely incredible day for yourself. Certainly, it's been a little bit of a roller coaster here at Aragon, but tell us a little bit about how it went from your point of view. Certainly, race 1, you was looking like you could potentially get an outright win here in the Almeida Academy.
Yeah, it was really good. Barrett was very helpful with giving me the drafting, qualifying, got me all the way up to P4. That got me really excited. Basically, just tried to stick with some of the fast guys who were pushing me in and see what I could make out of it. And I found a few spots where they started fighting and just took advantage of it, and it seemed to pay off pretty well. Just, I think it was 1 or 2 minor mistakes on my part that messed it up, and that was about it. Second race was a bit of a mess, but pulled it back for race 3 and for a class win, and it feels good.
Yeah, definitely able to score in a good collection of points today. Obviously, the M-Class points leader currently away, so you definitely made rain while the sun shines. You don't make rain while the sun shines, you make hay while the sun shines. You can roast me for that one, ladies and gentlemen. By all means, it's not the worst blooper we've ever had on Pit Road Productions. I'm sure I could top that. It won't take long. But indeed, Pyro, I gotta say, damn proud of you, buddy. Damn proud of you. Your dad, obviously here, cheering you on in the chat. We should get him in there. We should get him in the booth at the same time as you at some point. That'd be a good event there. But I gotta say, it's good to see the progress. But tell us a little bit about the academy side of things. Obviously, you're a quick guy, but your consistency seems to improve lately, and certainly you've seen the results pay off as a result.
Yeah, very much changed the way that I've been approaching driving the car. Previously, I was all about pushing and making sure that I was getting to the limit as fast as possible. I've since changed that up a little bit. It's more about developing a good baseline, not necessarily pushing, but a good baseline, and then slowly working it up from there. It's a bit of a reverse from what I was doing before, where it's like push hard, sometimes over push, and end up failing. So this has helped me keep the car a lot cleaner, helped me get a lot more consistent, and yeah, just getting a better feel for the feel of the tires, sound of the tires, making sure they're at the limit. And yeah, it's been a very good past couple of months for me.
Yeah, it's definitely good to see the improvement, and indeed we've seen the change come into effect. But obviously you're aware your dad's in the chat, and this is making me a little bit teary-eyed, so let's see what happens to you. But you got your dad saying there, Cairo, your mum and I are so proud of you.
Yeah, I'm sure. I love them. They're amazing parents. They're very supportive in everything that I've done, and yeah, they're just 2 of the best people I know. They're amazing.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I am not going to disagree with that, man, indeed, as I'm getting a little bit teary-eyed, and that's why we got Cairo on the camera instead of me. But I've got to say, congratulations to yourself, sir. I'm trying to think where we're heading to next week. Reece Gardner, by all means, cut me off on this one. I think it's Oschersleben. How do you feel about that track? Thank you, Reece. How do you feel about that track? Certainly, I've actually seen it a couple of times, and it's got good potential for some racing, but how about yourself? What would be your thoughts on that particular venue?
If this was 3 months ago, I'd say I'm terrified. But now I'm probably going to say it's going to be interesting. It's going to be wild. T1, T2 are still going to be the problem areas, I think. There's going to be a lot of carnage, but I think with the progress I've made, as long as I can keep it clean, I think I can come up with some pretty good points. Well,
certainly, Cairo, we are going to wish you the best luck, and I got to say, I'm over the moon. It's the hardest thing watching one of your buddies, and you watch them, they got pace, and then you just watch them push that bit too hard, and I don't get quite the same level, of disappointment as you would, obviously, because I'm not driving the car, but I feel for you, and it's hard, and it's great to see that this new approach you've been doing. Indeed, the Academy as well has been benefiting, and you're getting the results because we all knew you could do it. And it's great to see that you've actually managed to dial that in. So fantastic stuff. We are indeed going to have to let you go. My advice to you, sir, go give your mum and dad a call. Certainly, they deserve the full review there, and definitely give them my best. But ladies and gentlemen, able to get in a absolutely fantastic horde of podiums today. This is going to be looking good next week for the championship points in the club class. Ladies and gentlemen, driver the 117, it's Mr. Cairo Ends.
Thank you guys. It's fun.
Brilliant stuff from Cairo Ends today. And it would appear the final interviewee for today is Connor Bell from the Almeida Racing Academy, community manager, and getting a win on the trot here, starting all the way from the back, Connor. That looked like a monumental climb. You managed to make your way back to 8th in race 2 and grabbing the podium in race 3. A good consistent run of results.
Well, it just
Hello,
hit Connor
Connor.
Bell. Oh, he's coming back, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna hype him up once more. That's got to be it, Reese. We didn't hype up enough. We got an audience. This is your part. We'd get you to cheer, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. The one, the only. It's Mr. Connor Bell.
Can you hear us, mate?
I got
dear.
none. Reese, you'll go. We'll give it one more shot here, but I'm having fun. It's entertaining nonetheless. Here
He's
we go.
gone.
He'll be back in a minute, I'm sure. We'll see if my my Discord lights up. In the meantime, let's me and you have a chat here, Reese. Certainly, it's been an absolute belter all around. Did I catch you stretching, sir? All right.
Yeah, a little bit. It's 1:30 in the morning here, and I am looking forward to going to bed. So hopefully Connor's fixed his mic. I see him lighting up.
Yeah, there we go.
Attaboy.
Switch PCs there. I'm not sure why my headphone or headset microphone wasn't working. But yeah, that was good racing today. Couple incidents here and there, but overall, everyone's been applying some of the stuff we spoke about last week, so it's nice to see. Yeah, race 1 was great. I think that was 24th or something to first. It was quite the charge. Second race didn't quite go as well. I caught a couple slowdowns at the start, having to avoid some cars that were spinning, and then race 3 was great as well. So had a chance to work with Ian, practice some strategy stuff, and yeah, everyone played that pretty well in the end.
Yeah, it looked like nice, clean racing at the front of the field. How do you think the track served the racing? Aragon is not one of the most widely used circuits on the service, but Ian Joyner seemed to enjoy the opportunities that it gave him. What do you think?
Yeah, I just bought the track yesterday, so I had no idea what it even looked like before then, other than some coaching sessions earlier in the week. So I honestly didn't think I would like it, just looking at it at first, but I think it's got to be top 10 on my favorite track list right now. I loved it. I think it produced some great racing, and even hot lapping is super fun with those fast sweepers.
Absolutely. Fantastic stuff from the racing today, Connor, but all up. Another successful round down. Now we're going to be entering the second half of the season, basically the midpoint of next week's event. What are your thoughts on the season so far, and where do you see it going?
Yeah, season's been going well so far. Like you guys mentioned earlier, we're pretty much halfway through. But it's been really cool seeing the improvement of everyone in the academy. I know we've spoken about this before, but the guys at the front of Top Split are running, 6K plus pace. So it's really, really impressive to see the racecraft starting to come together. Hot lapping pace is already there. So really cool to see, and we're seeing that improvement throughout all 4 splits, and particularly with the people that are coming to the workshops, attending the pit parties, watching the workshop recordings on the website, of course, the new course. So really cool to see, and I can't wait to continue to see improvement for the next 5 weeks or so.
Absolutely, and all of this material and whatnot that Connor's talking about, you'll be able to access on the Almeida Racing Academy website. It's just $25 a month, and you'll be able to gain access to all this fantastic coaching material and be able to set up sessions with Connor and the other coaches at the Academy as well. Well, congratulations once again on grabbing 1 dub today, Connor. We'll see you again next round, I'm sure.
Yep, thanks, guys.
And it looks like that's going to bring things to an end for this broadcast here, Zippy. Aragon really turning it up. I enjoyed the time that we spent here.
I absolutely loved it. So don't get me wrong, I am a complete princess when it comes to a track that I will enjoy. But Aragon, I may have to take it out for a couple of laps. Like, from a broadcasting point of view, that was an absolute beauty of a race. Indeed, 3 races, ladies and gentlemen, all of them packed with tight action. But I have a feeling, I've got an idea, Reese, and indeed, we're gonna do a little bit of a tease. But I do often find, you know, Spoke Racer 4, there's no headlights on these cars, but wouldn't it be cool to run these at night, maybe with a lit track? Wouldn't it also be cool to run these in an endurance format and potentially have a teammate, or indeed, you know, two team cars in play? I've got some ideas, Reese, and indeed, we're going to have to leave them on the back burner for now, but certainly we're heading over to Oschersleben for the next round. What would be your thoughts on that particular venue?
It is a very compressed track, Oschersleben, but it has a lot of medium speed flowing corners, some curbs you can use to their maximum effect. It's the straights aren't as long as we've seen at other circuits, so I think it's going to be more of a technical racing kind of circuit than a out and out slipstream fest like we've seen at tracks like this one. So hopefully we'll still see some fantastic action next week.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I've got a feeling we are going to be absolutely in store for that. But my name is Daniel Zippy Salmon, and joining me in the production booth today was the one and only Mr. Reese Gardner. And again, we're going to shout out Mr. Rob Campbell as well. He was here. If we needed him, he was going to help in and produce the show for us. So we'll give him a shout out for that as well. Thank you very much, Rob. Certainly, honestly, internet service providers are the bane of a broadcaster's existence at times, and fair play to him. We've now passed the buck, and it's now his turn to go through that, but he'll be fixed a lot quicker than I will. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching, not just on Pit Road Productions, but indeed on Swelio Almeida's channel as well. And by all means, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, especially here at Pit Road. We are trying to chase down that 1,000 subscriber milestone. I mean, that's going to be a big deal for us. We've been going for about 2 years, and we would love it if you guys could help us on that. But that's all from us, ladies and gentlemen. Before we go out, we'll leave you with a message from Swelio, but thank you very much for watching, and we will indeed see you next week for Oschersleben.
Now he's here teaching all his secrets to all these drivers. This is Almeida Racing Academy,
where every champion has a starting line.
The sim racer turned real world superstar, Swelio Almeida.
It's Connor Bell racing in his own backyard for the very first time in the NASCAR Canada Series.
The workshops helped out so much. Something about battling with somebody faster than you, it just pushes you that little bit further, and I was able to just keep developing my skill.
I can kind of commit more with the exit there. That was good. If you do take sim racing seriously, it does impact your racing technique for the rest of your life.
I know how the car is going to perform around these corners because the model I have in the sim. Just the benefit of sim racing when you go into real life, I don't think people quite realize it yet.
You have infinite track time is the biggest factor. You are able to try so many things, and the physics that are simulated in the sim nowadays, especially iRacing, are so close to real life.
Creating champions.
Swelio Almeida is a master at his craft. He's outclassed a Le Mans driver, a European Le Mans Series racer.
These guys are among the top 0.02% in the world.
Designed to create champions.
First NASCAR Canada start. First NASCAR victory for Connor Bell.
Connor Bell standing on the podium here today.
This is the Almeida Racing Academy 3.0.
Wait a race, buddy, wait a race.